platform is very large. हमारे पास लैंग्वेज के कोर्स भी हैं, हमारे पास लॉ के भी हैं, हमारे पास साइकोलॉजी भी है, हमारे पास टीचर एजुकेशन भी है. तो ये तो बहुत संक्षेप में हमने बताया, पर ज़रूर इग्नो को देखें स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म पे. जो भी कोई कोर्स आपको इंटरेस्ट का हो, आप उस पे एनरोल करें. क्यों हमारे पास रेंज ऑफ डिसिप्लिन्स के कोर्सेज हैं जो शायद किसी और संस्था के पास शायद ना हो. इग्नो ही ऐसी संस्था है जिसके पास ये मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच जो NEP कहता है 2020 हमारा पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट कहता है, वो सारे कोर्सेज हमारे पास है.
With MMPC006 Marketing Management course today and this is the first session. I welcome you all to this first session of MMPC006 Marketing. It's a very interesting course, very interesting subject, very vast. However, very interesting for studying, very practical. In fact, it's all practical. So let's move on. Well, I'll first discuss with you the course structure today. As you see here, we have 4 blocks. Block 1, 2, 3 and 4. Block 1 deals with introduction to marketing and markets. That is basically the concept. So, and in this today, we will discuss marketing. That is a concept of marketing, the background of marketing. Then what is marketing environment analysis, its importance. And then we'll move on to discuss market segmentation. So first we'll try to understand what is segment, what is market, what is the market segmentation process, and then we'll discuss the importance of market segmentation.
It is in Sanskrit.
Then in the block 2, as you see here, product and pricing decisions. So this is again very important. It talks about product decisions, it talks about branding, packaging decisions. It's basically the entire decision-making process in marketing. It will talk of product life cycle, again it's very interesting, and pricing decisions. Block 3 discusses the distribution and promotion decisions. So distribution and promotion, as you see, distribution of the products, distribution of the products which are being manufactured by the companies, how it reaches to the end users. That will be related to distribution. And promotion is how the company will try to reach out to the maximum potential customers or present customers. That is basically how it will try to communicate. Reach out means communicate with all the customers. And block 4 is sectoral applications and emerging issues. So we'll begin with the block 1 today, introduction to marketing and markets. So let's move on. Let's see what is marketing. As you see here, now I'll particularly focus on block 1, that is introduction to marketing and markets. And in block 1, we have 4 units. The first unit is pertaining to marketing and review. Second unit is related to market environment analysis. So what is market environment analysis? What are the components of market environment analysis? Types of market environment analysis, etc. And then we move on to discussing the unit 3, that is market segmentation, targeting and positioning. And fourth is consumer behavior. However, today we're going to focus on unit 1, unit 2 and a part of unit 3, that is we will discuss market segmentation in unit 3. Well, let's move on. Well, the objectives of the first unit in the sense marketing, concept of marketing and well, the objectives are that by the time you study the first unit, you should be able to understand the meaning and concept of marketing. That is the introduction to marketing. The elements of marketing mix. So obviously when we are talking about elements of marketing mix, means we try to understand what is marketing mix as such and what are basic elements of marketing mix. All would only know that when we are talking of elements, obviously we are talking about the 4 P's. And then this scope of marketing. Now, the overview of marketing. Now, why is marketing important?
या मेरे को कैलकुलस बहुत
Why
अच्छा
is it
आता है या
important?
कैलकुलस में मैं
Why do we need to study? And everywhere you see, as I said in the beginning, and as such also,
कोई और कोर्स ले
in management as a discipline, marketing occupies a very, very important position. Like human resource management, like materials management, operations management, finance management, information systems management. So all different kinds of streams of management discipline occupy their own very, very important positions. Similarly, marketing also occupies a very important position. Why? Because it is everywhere. Whether it is irrespective of the area, irrespective, rural, urban, semi-urban, whether it's let's say in a village or it is in a country, whichever country it is, developing nations, everywhere, Europe, North America, South America, Asia, Australia, everywhere. Marketing is omnipresent. It touches every person. It touches us at every aspect of our life, at every corner of our life. If you look around yourself, you will see marketing everywhere. Whether it is, let's say, packaged water, whether it is the food that we are having, whether it is a cooked food, or whether it is the ingredients that we are buying, the groceries we are buying, whether the car that we are traveling in, or the vehicle that we are traveling in, wherever, whatever, shoes that we are buying, shoes that we are using, the FMCG, that is all the consumer goods that we are using in our daily life. So right when we wake up in the morning, till we sleep, in fact even later on, marketing is everywhere. It is all around us. And it, as I said, it's involved in most of the tasks and things handled are linked to marketing. See, all these things that I listed just now, whether you are at home or you are in the office, marketing does not keep us untouched. Marketing touches us every day. And when we're talking of marketing, so we're talking of, we're just not talking of products. Like I mentioned you, let's say footwear, I mentioned vehicles, I mentioned apparels, I mentioned food products. So, but these are all products. But at the same time, we also have marketing of services. So, services marketing, like tourism, services marketing, insurance agencies, services marketing. Whereas the product, banking is services, financial services. And in the financial services, there are also the products. Like for example, you have the credit cards, you have the actual policy. So you have the services as well as products, and all of them are reached to the customers with the help of marketing. And why do we do it? Because we as human beings, we are customers and we have our infinite needs. We need to satisfy. As long as we live, we need to satisfy our requirements, because it is we live, and in order to live, we need to satisfy our requirements. And then that is the customer's point of view. However, even for the company, for the organization point of view, marketing is very important. Whether it is for-profit companies or not-for-profit companies, marketing is still important. Because even for not-for-profit companies, let's say for NGOs, now suppose they are having a kind of let's say vaccination drive, like for the babies, for the infants, we have vaccination, compulsory vaccination drives. So now that is basically it is not-for-profit organizations that are doing it in order to create general awareness amongst the masses, amongst the people who are living in the rural areas. So they might not be knowing about the importance of vaccination. So, in order to reach out, they prepare all these big banners. They'll have posters. They will have jingles. They will have big cutouts. So what is that? Is basically trying to reach out to the potential customers. So it is for profit as well as for not for profit companies. Marketing is very important. So, as I said, marketing touches us everywhere. So, it might be somewhere, it is very, very evident. So, as I mentioned here, it is visible. At certain places, it is most of the time it is very visible. However, there are certain places where it is very subtle. We feel that it doesn't exist, but yes, still it exists. And it is very much linked. You will move when we move on to when we are discussing the market research analysis, etc., market environments, etc. You will see marketing as a subject or marketing as a management function is very, very closely related, has close alliance with other disciplines also, as for instance, economics, psychology, sociology. Well, marketing concept. Now let's try to understand what is marketing. Marketing, as I mentioned here, is a
and these are job बेस्ड एनहांसिंग कोर्सेज कि अगर आप जॉब में हैं तो उसमें भी आप अपनी स्किल्स को कैसे एनहांस कर सकते हैं ऑल द बेस्ट जॉइन इग्नो स्वयं कोर्सेज वी आर देयर टू हेल्प यू थैंक यू
वेरी मच
it is taking it to the consumers. So what does that mean? Basically moving the products and services to the final consumer segment. Particular segment. Every product cannot be taken to all the customers. So we have different kinds of people. We have different kinds of customers. Maybe there would be a customer who would require electric vehicles, EV. There would be a customer who would be happy with a diesel vehicle. Maybe because of the norms, the government regulations, he or she can still use diesel vehicles or petrol vehicles. So basically, it is moving the products and services. Marketing is moving the products and services to the final segment. So a successful marketing campaign would be when the product which the customers need, we offer them that kind of product, and then we offer them the product, and them means a particular segment. We are not preparing, we are not manufacturing, we are not preparing our services, we are not manufacturing our goods for general public as such. No, then we will not succeed. We have to have something that we call as niche marketing. We have to see different kind of people, their taste, their choice, their liking, their needs, and accordingly we reach out to these people as per their requirements, as per their wants. That is basically, we try to segment our customers and we take our product and services to particular segments in order to satisfy their requirements. And this is from the point of view of customers, and from the point of view of companies, it is basically emphasizing on profitability. So marketing will be the concept wherein it is the process wherein the products or services are reached out to the consumers in order to provide profit or generate profit for the company. And also, the other hand, consumer satisfaction. As I said, customers, reaching out to the customers with the product that they need. So if we reach out to the customers with a product that they need, they will be automatically more satisfied. And why we are doing all this? it is basically for optimum utilization of organizational resources. If the organizational resources are not utilized to the optimum, I'm not using maximizing but optimizing, then only we will be able to have both ends satisfied. That is adequate profitability for the company and need-based products to the consumers. So what is marketing? It is, as you see here, I have divided them into segments. So marketing involves planning and executing the conception. Conception of what? Conception of the idea is there. So first of all, trying to achieve the organizational objectives. We have the objectives, and then in order to achieve those objectives, what do? We plan. We plan how to implement, achieve those objectives. We execute. That is, we conceive. The idea goes into actually producing. Then pricing the products and services, promoting it, that is communicating to the customers or potential customers, then distributing it. If we promote, like, let's say there's a launch of a car, there's a huge pre-launch, promotion. But then if the delivery of the car, then what is the idea is basically then distributing the car to the end users. That is the people who have booked the car or the people who are interested in buying that particular vehicle or particular car. So if the delivery gets delayed, don't you think we get disgruntled? We say, why? We booked this car now, and the company had promised that we're going to get the delivery of the car in the next 2 months, and it is now 8 months and we have still not got the delivery of the car. So it's kind of disgruntlement, dissatisfaction causing. So the company has to ensure that once it is promoted, the product or the service, it also has to ensure that that particular product or that particular service actually reaches out to the customers for which it is meant to be reached. Then to create exchanges means in the sense to find out, actually sell, and then find out the satisfaction of the consumers, and if the consumers are satisfied, then our organizational objectives are achieved. So I have made this as a cyclical process. It goes on continuously. Well, the famous marketing thinker, marketing guru, Philip Kotler, how has he defined marketing? He has defined marketing as meeting needs profitably. So meeting the needs, who's meeting? The organization is meeting. Whose needs? People or consumers' needs, and how they are meeting it. In the process, they're ensuring profitability. So it is a managerial process because it is being done in the organization. The whole conceptualization, packaging, branding, everything is being done in the organization. And then it's a social process. Why? Because we are reaching out to the society. By which, what do? The individuals and groups obtain what they need and want through creating and exchanging products and value with the others. Others means, exchange means what? Like, I am buying, let's say, a kg of rice, and in turn, I am paying, let's say, 150 rupees. So it's a kind of exchange. It's a social process. Don't you think marketing is a social process? Of course it is. We have a set of people in the organization who are trying to ascertain the needs of the people who are outside the organization. In the process, there is a lot of social interaction. We have to know the ethics, we have to know the society, the people, their needs. We have to know their background, we have to know their tradition, we have to know their moral, we have to know their values. So we have to know their culture as such, so that we are able to provide the exact product that the people want. That's why we call it a social process, and it is an interaction. Obviously, it's an interaction. It's not one way. It is the company, the requirement, or their likes and dislikes, or the kind of product that they would want to buy, and the company in turn, what does it do? It manufactures that particular product, and then it persuades the people to buy it. So it is a give and take. So there is an interaction. And marketing, in other terms, it is also a purchase decision of customers through continuous marketing initiatives at different stages. Well, it is also a purchase decision. Like we have, suppose you want to buy a footwear. So I will not name any particular company. Let's say you want to buy a sneaker. In footwear, you want to buy a sneaker, a sports shoes. So you have to take a decision. You just don't go to, do you simply go to a shopping mall, or do you go to a shopping center? You go to a market and you just pick up the first pair of sneakers that you see? No. What do? You will look at company A, you will look at company B, you will look at company C, you will look at company D, you will compare all four. You will compare whether they are suiting your requirements, whether they are suiting the price, your budget, and then you will try to take a decision. So it is basically a purchase decision, and then it's a continuous process. From the part of you, from the part of the company, it is a continuous process. Does it only manufacture one particular product and then it's the end of it? No. It will manufacture, suppose it will manufacture a kind of soap. Does it just stop there, that it keeps on manufacturing and supplying it to the distributors, and distributors to the retailers, and then people go and buy that particular soap A? No. It will keep on innovating. It's like reinventing the wheel. It will keep on innovating. And how it will innovate? It will continuously take feedback from the customers on the particular soap that it had launched, and then they'll try to find out that what exactly, now that this particular soap has reached the customers, what next? What do they want? How they want that product to be improved? So that will be a continuous process. Now let's just try to understand, during the last, let's say, 20-25 minutes, I've been using the words needs, I've been using the words want, demand, etc. So let's just, we should not be confused. Let's just try to understand what is need, what is want, what is demand. So what does the word need mean? The word need means, as I have mentioned here, state of being deprived of something. Now, deprived should not be taken, the word deprived, the term deprived should not be taken in negative connotation. No. It's basically when, suppose you feel that, you want to buy a sneaker, a pair of shoes. Now, that wanting, that desire is basically, I'm talking of deprived here. That, you realize that you do require. That means you don't have it. So that basically gives rise to a need. That I'm going to participate, let's say, in a marathon of let's say in August or September, and for that marathon, I just can't buy a shoe and go and start running in the marathon. No, I need to buy a comfortable running shoes, which I am supposed to buy now, and then I will practice with it for the next 1 month so that the shoe gets fit to my requirements. So that is basically need. So human needs are, as I'm sure you would have studied in MMPC001, the needs, or let's say you would have studied in motivation, that the needs are driven by the different levels of motivation is basically driven by the different levels of needs. So only when the needs are satisfied, then only the needs change. So if you would recall, we have studied the theory of satisfaction of need, the hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow, wherein Abraham Maslow had defined 5 levels of needs. The hierarchy, it goes like that, a triangle, wherein at the lowest level, you have the physiological needs, the basic needs, bread, butter, I would say, basic clothing, basic salary. That is, I'm not talking of in terms of basic salary as such, but basically I'm talking of livelihood. Then you have, once those are met, Then you have the safety needs, a house, shelter, medical safety. Then once that is also there, then you would have the next deprived level. What is that? Social need. You need a family, you need friends, you need to interact, you need good colleagues. So that is the next level. Once that is there, you have that also. Then you look for status in the family, you look for status in the society, you look for status in the amongst your relatives. Once that is also done, so you have food, you have a good house, you have a good office, you have livelihood, you have good friends, and you have a good position in the society. What else do you require? Then finally you look at, why am I living? That is actualization, self-actualization. So, the needs, as we move up, the needs get satisfied, and these needs, then they define what we want to buy, what we want to purchase. So customer perspectives of needs. Let's see, what is the customer's perspectives of needs. So needs are basically of 5 kinds, as you see here. The stated needs, that is needs explicitly said. I've taken a simple example of an insurance policy. You suddenly let's say you have planned and you bought a house, or let's say you have planned that you need a good personal insurance policy. So that is stated. You've explicitly you have put up your requirement that you need an insurance policy. Then the second kind of need is real need. Needs more specific. Now, what is that insurance policy? Just by saying insurance policy, does that satisfy? Does that meet our requirements? No. Then you have to basically, for making a judicious decision, be more specific. You will specify your need. That is, I need an insurance policy from a public sector undertaking at my hometown. Now, suppose I'm based here in a metropolitan, and my hometown is, let's say, 150 kilometers from here. So I don't want to buy the policy here. I want to buy the policy at my hometown. Why? Because I feel I'll get better services there. So that is real, more specific. So it is policy. Number 2, from a public sector undertaking. Number 3, from my hometown. Third is unstated. Something that it is attached to your need, but you are not specifying it. Unspecified. So that is expected with your stated needs. So it comes with your need. That is, you feel that the insurance policy that I am going to buy for myself, it should cover my parents also. I have elderly parents at home, it should cover my elderly parents also. So that you're presuming it, that is unstated. Fourth is delight. Now, I have said public sector undertaking. So I would like to buy the insurance policy from a branch. I presume it from a branch which is a good branch, which provides a good services. As I mentioned here, customer-centric employees. So it is just not the brick and mortar. It is just not the branch. The branch per se is nothing unless the people who are working there, the employees who are working in the insurance company there in that particular branch, they are customer-centric. They are not nascent to the needs. They are not nascent to the requirements of the customers. That is, we go to the branch and we find that the employees there, they're providing us excellent service. Like we say, very commonly, service with a smile. So that is the delight perspective of need. And the last is secret. That is, there are sometimes, you just don't want to tell everything. You don't want to reveal everything. So there is inherent, maybe let's say you have an inherent hesitation of buying because policies nowadays, do you really go to the branch to buy a policy? No, we don't. So what do? We basically buy the policy online. Virtually we buy the online policy. But maybe I might be having some hesitation. I might be having, I might not be so techno savvy. So I would want that I go to the branch and I buy the policy from there. So the customer service executives there, they should help me. But we don't want to, I don't want to tell that I am not techno savvy, it might not look good. So that is the secret perspective of needs. Now we try to now define, after having understood need, we try to define what is want. Now the forms taken by human needs. Now once the need is there, I want to buy a policy, life policy, or I want to buy a running shoes, or I want to buy an EV. So the need is there, then that gets, once the need is defined, it becomes a want. So want is naturally dependent on the, completely dependent on the need of the customer, completely dependent on the need of the people. If there are no need, there won't be any want. So if there is a need, obviously it will go and transform into the next level, that is want. Then we go into demand. So what is customer's perspective of demands? Wants. Now see, we have the need has been identified. Next, that need helps us to find out what we want. Now once we know what we want, then we go on to, it becomes the demand. Demand, that is wants backed by willingness and purchasing power. Now how do we say that we demand this thing, or there's a demand for a particular product? It is basically the willingness. We know that we need a pair of shoes, running shoes, a sneaker, that is there, and then we try to see, that means we are already willing, then we try to see how much can we pay for it. So once the willingness and the purchasing power is defined, that basically defines the perspective of demand. Like I've given a very interesting example, last week the Wimbledon matches were going on, tennis matches were going on. So suppose, I might be having I want to watch the Wimbledon match abroad. So that is a want. Need is entertainment, that I want to go and see it. I really want to see a tennis match. That gets converted into a want. Where do I want to go? I want to go no other place but Wimbledon. Now, once that is there, next, can it be straight away converted into demand? No. Then, I might be wanting so many things. Then I would try to see the affordability. So, can I afford to travel to Wimbledon, and do I have time? So it's the money and also the time. See, effort in any case, obviously you are willing. So once that is decided, you say, yes, I have the resources, I can spend, I'll buy the ticket, I will buy my accommodation there, I will buy the boarding, lodging, transport, everything, and I'll buy the ticket I'll book a space for myself at the Wimbledon Stadium for a particular match of a particular day. And then once this is all decided, it becomes a demand. That's when you look out to see which airlines you will be having, which let's say travel, if it's a booking through travel agency, which travel agency you will be looking at, or let's say which hotel you will be staying in. So all these things, that finally it is the demand which converts into the purchase. Now let's define the word market. Market, I'll quickly say that it is basically derived from the Latin word marketus. Marketus, what does it mean? A place where buyers and seller meet for business. It's a business transaction, it's a give and take. It's an exchange. You buying the product, in return you paying them. So the market word basically is derived from the Latin word marketus. Now the market, earlier we would talk of only market in terms of brick and mortar, but no, now there is a very, very, very interesting and very, very useful, let's say, means also of buying the goods and services. That is, earlier market was only brick and mortar, that is, it was only face to face, wherein the buyer and the seller are face to face. You want to buy sneakers, you go to the store and buy your sneakers. But now that is not the case. So we have the digital platforms now. So digital platform is also a digital. It's a virtual market. You know that you must have heard some time back there was an advertisement going on. Very frequently that there's a digital mall. Now just imagine, you don't even need to go to the mall, the brick and mortar mall. You have the virtual mall for you. So there are the digital platforms, n number of digital platforms for buying, let's say, clothing, for buying shoes, for FMCGs, for groceries, even for fruits and vegetables, for dairy products, our daily milk product that we get at home. All that, now gone are those days when you have a milkman coming and supplying the milk. We simply go to the app, we order the milk. So these are what? These are the digital platforms. So market nowadays is two ways. You have the brick and mortar, you have the virtual or digital platforms, the apps. So things have become much more easier. They have become more flexible. The customer finds the goods and the products, let's say the products and the services, much more easily accessible. What would that mean? That would mean their needs are better satisfied. Now, how many kinds? There are again kinds of market. As you see here, there are 4 kinds of market. There is consumer market, there is business market, there's global market, and non-profit markets. I've already talked about this non-profit market earlier, just at the beginning of this session today when we are starting, I discussed non-profit markets. So consumer markets, it is B2C, that is business to customers, business to consumers, large scale, goods and services, hotel industry, travel industry. I've given just the example of FMCG, which is part of the goods. So services, hotel industry, banking services, financial services which the financial institutions are providing to us. Then, of course, we have all the goods, our daily requirements. So all that is a part of the consumer market. Then you have the business market, B2B, business to business. So one organization can be a customer for the other organization. Let's say, for example, there is a company which is manufacturing the goods. Then, is it just enough? No. Those products, those goods have to go to the wholesalers. Or for that matter, let's say the car manufacturing companies. Now, the car manufacturing companies, do you think they manufacture all the parts? No, that is B2B. There are certain companies which are just specializing in manufacturing the steering wheels. There are there are companies which are just specialized in manufacturing different kind of tires. So that is B2B, business to business. So then you have the global markets, international markets. We're looking at liberalization. We are in the era of globalization. So we have the global markets nowadays. Earlier, like we had products only, let's say, indigenously manufactured products. Now we have a choice. We have very good quality indigenously manufactured products, but at the same time, there is stiff competition for buying similar products even from international companies. So both tend to gain because there will be a good competition, there will be a healthy competition. They will try to provide more and more of features in the product which our consumers want. So that is your global market, global market for products and services. So you have not only, let's say, Indian hotels, but you have the foreign hotels also. Foreign chains are there. You not only have the Indian airlines companies, but you have the foreign companies also. So this is what? These are all part of the global market, which is trying to satisfy the demands globally in the international markets. And then you have the non-profit markets, not for profit markets. Like I have given you the example earlier. So these are the specific types of products and services. Example: government e-marketplace, public libraries, etc. For example, you get these services, as I give you the example of vaccination drives for the babies, for the infants. So that is basically done by not for profit markets, then even not for profit markets would also be, the products and services which the companies are provided as a part of their corporate social responsibility. So there, when they are trying to reach out to the customers, that is part of their social responsibility towards the society, which we have discussed. You must have studied in detail in the other courses, general courses of management. So those are the services or the products which the company is providing to the people, not with profit as an objective. Now we go to discussing a very, very interesting topic of marketing, that is marketing mix. Now, before that, we discussed marketing. So we have discussed market. Now let's see what is the process, marketing process. It is the process of identifying, anticipating. Why anticipating? Means it's futuristic. As I said, that you have to anticipate today. You have to anticipate what the customer wants 2 years from now, or let's say what the government rules and regulations would be. Just try, you're trying to anticipate, trying to forecast. Accordingly, you're trying to modify the product that you are providing. The car market, the vehicle market, let's say even the two-wheeler market is an excellent example of anticipating and satisfying the customer requirements with the purpose of making profit. So profit, yes, here we are talking about profit maximizing. And also marketing is also basically, let's see here, requirement of appropriate marketing policies and procedures for desired behavior of traders and consumers at a minimal cost. So we have to marketing is also the process wherein the companies try to formulate the policies and strategies, procedures. Why? So that this kind of, trade between the customers, the consumers, and the business entities, it involves minimum cost. But at the same time, not compromising on the satisfaction of the customers. What's a marketing mix? Marketing mix is basically making a decision. It helps the organization to make a decision with regard to the product that it is going to supply, the product that it is going to reach out with to the customers, what kind of pricing they're going to put for that particular product, what kind of promotion strategies it's going to use. That is, how is it going to reach out? How is it going to communicate that, look here, we have developed this, with that advertisements, promotionals. So that, what is it going to do? And the place, where is it going to reach out? So these are the basic 4 criteria which helps the companies in making decision about marketing strategies and policies. Now, marketing mix, as per Philip Kotler, marketing mix is basically, I would just like to quote here, marketing mix is the combination of 4 elements called the 4 Ps. As we already know, product, price, promotion, and place, that every company has the option of adding, subtracting, modifying in order to create a desired marketing strategy. As I said here, it helps us in making a decision. So product, these 4 Ps, they help us if we are able to decide what kind of product, that is on the basis of the feedback, on the basis of the requirements of the customers. Then what kind of pricing strategy we're going to use, how we're going to reach out to the people, how we're going to tell them, inform them, communicate to them that this particular product exists, and where you can go and buy it, from where, how we're going to distribute it. So all this helps us in devising the policies and procedures, marketing policies and procedures in the organization. Now, what are the steps? See, there are basically 6 steps in marketing mix. Number 1, deciding on the product. So when we talk of deciding on the product, that means the features, the unique features of the product, depending on the Customer feedback. I spoke of customer feedback. So, you must have seen very often, we receive pamphlets in the newspaper, or let's say very often we receive email from the customer. Or a very simple example, you go to a restaurant, you eat something, and then they ask you for the feedback. So based on the feedback, then they would like to improve the services. So first is to define what kind of, or determine what kind of product we're going to offer to the customers. Next, understand the consumers. That is basically step 1 and step 2 go together. So once we know, on the basis of surveys, on the basis of feedback, what exactly the customer wants, then we try to understand the kind of product, we try to understand the needs of the customers, because that only will go on to form the demand, and we go to supply. As an organization, we go to supply. Third is, we know what product the customer wants. We know the features. Now, what price are we going to decide for that particular product? That is a pricing decision. Step 4 is evaluate the options of place to understand where the customer is most likely. That is, 4P. So we're talking of the place. So we know we have the product, we have the pricing, we have decided that this is a particular shoe, running shoe. I'm going back to running shoe, marathon shoes. So we have a sneaker. This is going to satisfy the needs of the marathon runners. So the sneaker is there. And then which segment are we looking at? We're looking at, let's say, the people with the middle income group. So we're not going to, price the shoe to, let's say, 20,000 rupees. No. So we will try to decide on the pricing. Now, once that is done, then we try to see where we're going to sell it. Obviously, will we sell it at the very high-end stores? No, we will try to sell it. We have a wider distribution. We will try to see where does the middle class income people go to buy their stickers. Which place? Do they prefer brick and mortar stores, or do they prefer going online to buy? And then once that is decided, that this is how we're going to reach out. This is how we're going to reach out with the product to the customers. Then we try to see how we're going to reach out. That is, the shoe is there, the pricing has been done, you have decided who you are catering to. Then you will try to actually take the message to the customers, to the potential customers, that is communicating. And then you identify all this, product, 4Ps, product, price, promotion, place where you're going to sell it. You bring them together to decide on the product. So as you see here, I have an excellent illustration here which depicts the marketing mix, 4Ps. So product means package design, features, customer service, quality, branding. Pricing is discount, payment method, the actual price of the product. Promotion, as I already mentioned earlier, advertising, public relations, that would all come in promotion. And then the place where exactly you going to sell it, the distribution channels, who are going to be your wholesalers, who are going to be your retailers, etc. Then we go to all this together forms the marketing strategy. However, I'll not take the marketing strategy in detail here. Marketing strategy you just need to understand that marketing strategy means it is a process of deciding on segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So first, we will try to understand what is segmentation, we'll try to understand what is targeting, we'll try to understand what is positioning. Then only we will study in detail marketing strategy. And that is in this course, MMPC006, it is discussed in Unit 3. Now we go to Unit 2, that is marketing environment analysis. So at the end of this particular unit, what are you going to understand? What will be your level of understanding of what basically you will understand? You will understand what is the important and impact of environmental analysis in the business. Then you have, the macro environment. You'll understand what is macro environment, what are the elements of factors of macro environment. Then you will understand what is micro environment, what are the elements of micro environments. Then you will try to understand the marketing environment in the Indian context. And then you will also understand, you'll be able to understand what is marketing research. Now, why marketing and environment analysis? Why do we need to do marketing environment analysis? As I said, the customers, let's say the companies, before actually manufacturing a particular good, or let's say before actually designing a particular service, the companies, what do? They try to do analysis. They try to do a thorough analysis of the environment. Why do they do it? So as to know the taste, the requirements of the consumers. So what is this? To identify the changes. Because as I said, we are not in a static environment. The environment around us is constantly changing. We are living presently in a highly dynamic environmental situation. So company which is manufacturing the goods, or let's say the company which is providing the services, it has to constantly study these changes that are occurring outside the company. Then the competition, to identify the dynamism. What kind of changes is it? What exactly are the changes? Then the trends. What is the trend? What is the fashion? Let's say trend in terms of not only fashion in terms of apparels, let's say, or cosmetics, whatever. But basically, the trends. It could be trend in anything. Then the strengths. It could be trend. Let's say trend even in travel. Then the strengths, the weaknesses of the company, to know the opportunities, to know the threats. That is, who are the people who are our competitors outside. So in order to know all these things, in order to identify all these things, once we know all these things, once we are able to identify all these things, it will help us to develop, it will help us to, let's say, state our objectives. It will help us to develop our products, which would be exactly suited to the requirements of the customers. And if it is exactly suited to the requirements of the customers, the demand of the customer will be met and the sales of our product will go up. That in turn will ensure profitability for the company. Now, macro environment of marketing, as I said, there's micro environment and then there is macro environment. So what does macro environment include? It has the following factors: the demographic factors, it has the economic factors, socio-cultural factors, it has the natural factors, technological factors, and political legal factors. So demographic, we all know, it is the education level, the number of people in a family, the family size, let's say, the age of the people, let's say the education, the composition, the religion, the occupation, income level, all that will be part of your demographic factors. And that is all your macro factors, macro environment factors. Then you have the economics, that is the inflation, economic reforms of the country, economic reforms of the neighboring countries, the purchasing power, the purchasing pattern. So all this part is a form of the economic factors. Then we have the socio-cultural factors. We've discussed all this earlier also. Then the natural factors, that is, the climate change, the climatic conditions. So all these things come under the natural factors affecting the marketing decision. Then you have the technological changes. I need not elaborate that. I spoke to you about the digital marketing. I spoke to you about the virtual markets existing. So that is all part of the technological changes that are happening. So unless we do the analysis, we can't be nascent to it. And then of course the political legal. So political legal and natural, especially when I'm talking of environment protection, when I'm talking of pollution norms, when I'm talking of climatic conditions, not exactly climatic conditions, let's say the ecology, the global warming. So all these things, they, to a certain extent, they are related to the legal factors. So it is the government, which keeps on from time to time enacting laws which affect the companies which are manufacturing different kinds of goods, because that should not affect the environment. Again, I'll come back to the same example of EVs. So these are the various factors which together form the micro environment of marketing, and the companies have to do a thorough analysis of the micro environment to manufacture the product that is suited to the customers. Changes in the marketing environment. Okay, I think we are over with the time now. So we'll continue from here in the next session, same day, same time. And I would just like to quickly tell you that in the next class, we'll continue with marketing environment analysis, and we'll continue with the remaining 2 units of the block first. Thank you so much.